Hi everyone, it's Keren here. Welcome back to my channel. I don't know if you watched my video about the must-have products and the want products that I want from Creativation, Creative World. After trade shows, it's really hard to choose what products you want to buy and what you must have in your craft room and what you could probably wait about. And I did also another video, which I'm going to link both of those below, because what I wanted to give is tips on how to decide what products to buy and what products not to buy. So the first video was specifically on tips about that, and what it does is it helps you kind of narrow down things. And once you have that list of what you really want, from there you can narrow it down even further to things that you must have on your list or you must want to buy, and then the one where you want but you could wait. So the ones that you really want and the ones that you can wait. So that video that I made was specifically about art supplies, but today I want to show you one with craft supplies, because when you go to these shows, there's so many different booths and you're so overwhelmed with so many different things. There's so many cool products that you don't know what to choose. I really wanted to make this video so you can really see the type of products that I feel are on my list. And every person's list might be different, but it just helps you kind of narrow things down. And I want to tell you why I'm choosing certain products and why I'm choosing the other ones to leave them on my want list as opposed to in my must-have list of things. So let's get started. So the first one is actually an organizational storage container, and it's the container for the big distressed inks and distressed oxide inks. So I know that Tim Holtz came up with the small distressed oxide ink container, the small distress ink container, but I don't have those, so it didn't help me because I only have the big ones, as I didn't want to buy both of them. And I really wanted something for my distress oxide inks. Now I have a big bin that has all of them, and it's great because it holds all the inks, but the only problem with that is they're stacked up in a way that I constantly have to look and lift everything up in order to actually find my ink. So let me show you what I mean. So it's a big container of inks just like this, because I have all the colors. I do use these a lot, so that's why I love the effects that they make. So that's why I bought all of them. I didn't buy all the distress oxide sprays or the reinkers because I figure they're very similar to this, and I really use these a lot, so I'm really happy that I bought them. But as you can see, I tried categorizing them in terms of colors. So I had like yellow, browns, purples, and it has gotten mixed up a little bit too. They have the blues over here, but the problem is that every time I'm looking for a color, I have to kind of lift everything up. I mean, it's not really a big deal, but I really love the case, the way it comes. Tim Holtz showed it at Creativation, and they're basically lined up this way. You can actually see what color they are. They're smaller, so you can categorize them by colors because there's only 15 per box. So it's really good because that way you can just make it the way you like. So I'm really looking forward to buying these, and they're going into my must-have list. They're not available yet, but I'm really excited to get them. The next two are two products by We Are Memory Keepers. I thought they were really cool. One was the button maker, and the other one is the mold maker. Now, We Are Memory Keepers has really cool machines and things that are different than everybody else. And the reason for why, I don't know why I want that button maker. I really want to make these really cool buttons to give out at the trade shows, but I really thought to myself, do I really need this? Because truthfully, I mean, I don't really need to make buttons, but I really want to. So that kind of goes into my want list. So if one day in the future I decide to get it, then that would be good, but I probably won't. Another reason why I don't want to buy it is the price point. It's a really expensive machine. I think it goes for like $130, and I don't really think I'm going to use it as much. If I was a store and I was making, let's say, pins for like my customers or do something cool as a promotion, then that would be worth it. But for me as a consumer, I don't think it's worth for me to buy it. And in terms of the mold maker, so I thought it was a really cool idea. The only thing I don't like about it is that The mold is made out of plastic, so you can't put many things in it. You can put things like modeling clay, Fimo, or like if it's more like geared, I think, towards people that make fondant or cakes and things like that, or chocolates or soaps, because I find that the hot things like hot glue or the ones that is the resins that heat up, those didn't work well with it, and I do use those a lot because I have a hard time kneading with my hands. So I find that I really knew that I would not use this as much, but I really thought it was an amazing idea. And for somebody who's doing classes or runs a store that needs to make things embellishments, that's a really good investment. And I just think it's really cool. Again, the price point is high for me, so that's one of the reasons why this is only going into my wants, and I probably won't be able to get that. The next one, and I was just impressed with what it does, even though I know there's other things on the market like that, and that is the Tim Holtz alcohol ink blower. Now, I know it's silly because I know that there's other things out on the market. Many people have told me that you can just use like a turkey baster, or like they sell in the, it's like an air blower that you can use for a keyboard to clean the keys in between the keyboard, and I could use that as well. But truthfully, Tim Holtz, I want to support him, and it doesn't really matter if they have it in another way. I do want to. It's a one on my must, because I've tried to do really cool effects with a straw, and it doesn't come out as nicely as when you blow the air with this blower. So number one, it's not very expensive, so that's something that I can afford and can put in my must list or really, really want list, and at the same time supporting Tim Holtz because he's such a sweetheart and such a good and hard-kinded person. And at the same time, it's something that will really help me. So I'd rather support him than support like somebody that I don't know for the same product. And it costs about the same amount. So it doesn't really matter. So I might as well get this one and support him. So that's going into my must list because I really want to try to see how it works with the alcohol inks and the alloys. Another product that is a must-have for me, only because I love experimenting and I love trying new things, it's something that I saw at the booth at Dress My Craft. It's the new Shrink Prink. I don't know if you saw the video in it. It was a YouTube video that I did in a demo at the show. So I'm going to be trying this out, and I'm really excited to see how it will work. I haven't actually worked with it yet, so I love things that are new and exciting. I know there is also a graphics shrink paper, a shrink film, so I'm curious to see how it compares with that one, which I might be getting a few samples from that as well. So basically what it is, I got this at the trade show, and what I like doing for my viewers is to compare things so you can decide later what's the best thing for you, so you don't have to buy all the things. So yes, I do get some things for free, but that helps you because that way I can kind of separate things and see what works best, so it saves you money at the end because you don't have to buy everything. So in that case, it's good because I can do a comparison. So I love this one, and along with this one, there's something that Dress My Craft has as well. These tweezers. Now, I know there's a lot of tweezers out there in the market. As you can see, I have a few, and I know they're excellent for card making or to put little things up, but what I like about this is that these are silicone tips, so you will never burn your fingers. It will never heat transfer. So this one, for example, has a silicone on the outside where you're holding it, while this one has it at the tips. So it's the same idea, and just a little bit different, but it's really great for mixed media. And I saw it being used so you can hold a shrink prink in your hand, and that way when you're heating it up with your heat tool, it will not melt and it will not hurt your hand, it will not burn it. So these are the tweezers. Most of these things are going to be available very soon at different stores. I'm linking those stores below because eventually you will see where they're coming. Like, I mean, everything is on order and it will come eventually to all the places. The joggles I know will sell the shrink prink and also these tweezers. So at least you have somewhere where you can shop if that is something that you want, especially if you're a card maker or a crafter or a scrapbooker, or even if you do mixed media, this is great. So these are the two things from Dress My Craft. Another really cool thing, and I mean, this is not a must-have for me, but I got it as a, I got it from scrapbook.com. And they're not really that new, but they're these really cool blenders, and I can't wait to use them. What I like about them is that they're dome shaped, so things will not get stuck. But if you want to watch a really good video, you can go to my friend Tiffany Solorio's video on all the blending tools, and she basically does a comparison between all of them. And this one was really good because it's really easy to blend with it. So I thought this was a must-have if you need to go buy a blending tool, this one or the brushes. I know people were really happy with these brushes. I don't use this as much just because I don't do as much like blending backgrounds, but for those of you who do cards, this is great. So go watch Tiffany's comparison and all the blending tools. Blending tools are not something that I must have. I do have them just because I got them in advance, but truthfully they're important because especially if you're blending backgrounds, things for backgrounds, inks and so forth, these are really important to use. The next one is the Tonic Studios, the mini album die cuts, which you can build your own mini album out of different pieces. And I really love the idea of it, even though I don't make as many mini albums. The only thing with that is that I don't have the extra large machine to cut, the die cut. I only have the regular one. So that's a minus for me because I don't want to purchase another die cutting machine, as you saw in my video on the 15 craft products I wish I would have not bought. The machine was one of them. I do have the automatic one, which I already have one, so getting an extra large, I don't do as much die cutting, so it wouldn't be worth it, even though it would be great for my classes, because if I could do a mini album class, that would be ideal. So it would be ideal for that because I could just cut up all the pieces. But I'm looking into getting a big machine. I wish we would have been able to use it in the regular machines, maybe a smaller mini album, and that would work well for many people because they don't have to buy that extra large machine. But I will list that extra large machine. I think the Gemini, the bigger one, is good for that, and I know Sizzix has one as well, and I'll list those albums as well. I'm not sure if they're out yet, but I thought that was a really cool idea for crafting. I just don't think it's in my must-have list. Along with Tonic, those shaker card shapes, those were fantastic. I would love to get some cards from people. If anybody wants to make me a card with those shaker cards, I really would love to get one. As you know, I don't make cards anymore. I've kind of narrowed down my genre to art journaling and mixed media. But if you're a crafter and you love shaker cards, those are amazing. They're not in my must-have list, but I had to tell you about them because they're really great. And they have so many cool shapes like teacups and martini glasses and other things. I don't remember, teapots. It was really cute, so I really like that. Oh, and even numbers for birthdays, so you can fill them out with like sequins and stuff like that. So that's really cool for those of you who make cards. Along with that, I mean, basically, and in all the stamps and dies from all the different companies, I'm sure they're on somebody's must-have list, but they're not on mine. One of my favorite ones, besides the shaker cards from Tonic, was the Concord and 9th Infinity die. I thought that was really cool. I'd love to, as I said, receive a card from that, but I won't be buying it at the moment. It's not in my must-have, and it's not the priority. Not only because I don't make cards, but just because, truthfully, I want to spend my money on other things. So stamps and dies, I'm buying. I mean, I do have my foam stamps, but I'm more thinking of like clear stamps and rubber stamps. So for those of you who love them, I'm sure there is lots of card making videos on their favorite stamps or favorite card making or paper crafting products. But this is not the video for that. I'm just talking in general crafts and what I really loved and what I want to keep for myself and what I want to buy. The other one is paper. I mean, paper, there's so much paper. There's so many paper companies out there. You know, I work with Prima a lot, but even with that, I saw so many beautiful papers. There was a new company, P13, which from Poland, which looked beautiful. There is Blue Fern Studios had beautiful papers, 49 in Market, and of course, like I mentioned, Prima. And I love paper. I love the way it looks. And this is what started me on my journey, was scrapbooking. And It has a very, very special place in my heart. But at the moment, I've even stopped scrapbooking because I really want to focus on what I love at the moment, which is art journaling and mixed media. So I'm not actually buying any paper. So all those beautiful papers that you saw in my videos, I am not buying them. But if you are a scrapbooker and if you love them, please support those companies. They have such beautiful stuff, and I really want them to have. Oh, even Dress My Craft has beautiful like lines, and you can find all those at scrapbook.com. I will link those below. So if you want to buy Prima, 49 in Market, Dress My Craft, and I think maybe hopefully they picked up P13, Blue Fern Studios. I hope they picked them up as well. We'll see, like only time will tell. But all the other ones have such beautiful papers, so I'll link those below as well, just in case. But I'm not buying. They're not on my must-have list. So as you can see from both lists that I did, the one from art supplies and the one from craft supplies, I do have more that I want in the art supplies because that's where my genre is. And that was where I really specified in my original video that when you're making your list, you really have to know where you want to go and what you want to what you want to create. Because if you want to create things that are like art related, like art journaling, mixed media, then you should be focusing your money, or you should be focusing your lists on things that are mediums and stencils and things like that. Or if you want to be more towards scrapbooking, card making, paper crafting, then you should be focusing your buys on that. So that's where the list kind of like interchange, and then you could like mix and match. Obviously stencils, I actually wanted to include stencils in this video as well, even though I included it in the other video, because stencils are versatile for both crafting and mixed media and art. So I'm including stencils here as well, just to say that I am not buying all the stencils out there. I got a few from the Finnabar collection, and I was eyeing some the Crafters Workshop, but truthfully I have so many stencils that I don't want to buy as many, so it went into my want list. And if I choose to buy some throughout the year, then that would be great. I'll just choose and buy the ones that I want. I'll pick and choose from some of them. So that's basically my list of craft supplies that I must have, and those that I want. And that may change over the next few months, or as more things come out and as I see people creating things. But in the meantime, that's my list, and I hope you have your own list of things, whether it's art supplies or craft supplies, and you can basically decide what you want to do and what you want to buy. So thank you so much, and I will link those two videos at the end of this video, so please stay tuned to watch them. You can just press them at the end. And I really appreciate all your support. I hope this helps, and have an amazing day, everyone. Bye!